You know?
Yes.
When you applied for a job at 3TV, was your resume 1 page or 2 pages?
It was 2. I had a reference page, and then the first page was on my.
Michael, she had 2. She tried to stuff it with good info.
She probably had to send out more than she needed.
She just dazzled them in the interview. This is Michael Hayes, who runs Momentum Specialized Staffing, and you go through resumes all day long. And what are you finding? A lot of people obviously looking for work, but what are some of the mistakes that you're finding on the resumes?
Well, people tend to tell us too much information. We don't need to know that you won the sack race at your last company picnic,
Right.
things like that. We also don't need to know about, high school awards and things like that. So you need to keep it brief and effective.
All right, so the 1 page thing is really what you're recommending. I know one of your tips is references upon request. Do you just make that 1 line, or do you not include references, or what do you think?
I would just put that down at the bottom. A lot of people are only going to use references of people that are actually good. I mean, I'm not going to call them up and they're going to say, wow, that's a horrible person.
Right.
So again,
You already know it's been tainted with people that will blow
Correct,
about
yes.
it. Single page. I know Gina mentioned she had 2 pages, but the nice single page you recommend, again, put everything on 1 page.
Yes, this is like a warehouse person that sent us a resume. It shows basically what they did. It's totally designed, including using words in the business, mispicks, things like that, picking the wrong thing. They're avoiding it, which is important to when you're doing that sort of work. So making sure when you're applying for a particular job, you're tailoring kind of your skills for the job, not sending me your
Right.
pharmacy tech for a warehouse position.
No, that's a great point. Social networking. Sometimes that could be a little bit distracting, but on a resume, is it important to let people know you've got a Facebook page, a Twitter account? Does that matter?
I think right now, no. Still, a lot of employers are really very, blasé about you being involved in Facebook because they know a lot of people are using it at work. And unless you're in some field, like the PR or, the news media, that probably is not as important. I mean, you can mention that casually, but I wouldn't broadcast it. Plus, if you have ways to look up on your Facebook page, and you got pictures of you doing like a beer bong and stuff, that's going to be a real negative thing.
Hey, it may make for good times at the next company picnic, though.
Correct.
But like the sack race, maybe
Yes.
that's why they put that in there. Should you make it creative and fun at all, or do people even care?
I don't think they do. I mean, a lot of people that are selling, that put in sales resumes, put in like, top closer and I'm the best person in the world. That's just really cocky and a way to get the X button faster.
And then finally, outdated terminology and skills. You talked about putting your high school awards on there, and you're in your 40s. Maybe start a little bit later with some things that you've done.
Yeah, or putting down you're an expert in COBOL. Like when I went to school, that was like you had to learn that language.
Right.
I mean, that would be basically telling everybody you're 60 years old and you don't know what's going on today.
Michael, thanks for joining us. We have a link to Michael's company on our website. Also want to mention the University of Phoenix today